For Yah righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed, peace to our national audience, international audience. I hope everybody is in excellent health, as well as can be expected in the latter days, last days of this fourth kingdom of man, in the midst of all of this degradation and ecological, environmental, and economical collapse, which is Yah's judgment again that he's bringing on the inhabitants of the earth to make his judgment rest to a light of the people. Isaiah chapter 51 verse 4. Last session that we did, I mentioned this book. It's called, I said it was The Hidden Hand, The Unseen Hand by A. Ralph Epperson. And that's Epperson. Epperson. The Unseen Hand. And again, you know, that's talking about the Illuminati, these international Amalekite, Edomite bankers that have the dominion today, and they've had the dominion now almost solid for about 100 years. But they've been very, very powerful for the last couple of hundred, and they've influenced man's thought, man's moves, and to the greater degree now for over, I would say, at least a good solid about 1800 years. Okay? Because they're the ones who came up with, their forefathers, you know, came up with the religion of Christianity. Because they were the illuminated ones. Now, you know, today we were, you know, as I said in the past, these are the main people, they focus, and you know, not so much battering room that we saw today, okay, with you know, a person or two who's basically not, I think this is the first time possibly one or two people has been in this room doing recording, you know, that we had to start doing it different because of the interference that the powers that be. Can you hold on for a second?
I think you might be having problems with the transmission.
We were just told that they've been attacking the screen all day today, the session, but they can't do it like they used to because we're recording it now. And that was a recording that you heard initially. That's how we had to start doing it as of May of this year. The powers that be, they attack the message whenever they can, but it's harder now for them to do it when we record it like we've been doing it as of May. But now they still come in on the Q&A because this is live. So we were told earlier today that, some of the people were getting kicked out of the room, couldn't get back, were having a hard time getting back. We've even had to leave the room a couple of times and come back. Okay, but this is, again, it's a vexation only for them to understand the report. Yeshaya chapter 28. So we expect these things, and but at the same time, Yah's message gets out. And for any of you who missed any of the message today, because I noticed some were in and out, and like I said, some people were getting kicked out. But you can always go back once Yeshaya puts it up in the room. I mean, in the website, on the website, YahRighteousnessHome.org. Just go back and go over it and listen to it. Now, again, when people have called here and asked me where certain things are on the site that I've talked about, I can't tell you just where certain things are, because I don't, I just talk. I just, as you heard today, I just go where Yah leads me, and I don't know exactly where certain things are. Certain things, that we've done in the past, they stick out in my mind, for whatever reasons they stick out in my mind, and I can tell you what month that we did a certain thing. But basically, as I've said in the past, people need to go to the site, YahRighteousnessHome.org, and go through the site chronologically, like Yeshaya Yedida, they got it set up. And they told me it's, some people who come into the room on a regular basis, gone over the site and listed, directives, if you will, to certain things that are talked about in the different sessions, that began back January 2012. Okay, so we've been doing this now basically 2 years. We don't do a session necessarily every month. People have called here just a couple of weeks ago, a week or so ago, and asked me, had I done anything, because they didn't see anything for November. But like I said, we don't necessarily do anything every month. It's like that. Sometimes it's not. We might hit a period where we're not really doing anything. So just write, or you can call, here to me, or you can call Yeshaya Yedida or Uremia, and they will basically be able to tell you whether we've done lately or not. Now, as far as when the questions will be able to start, because I'll say that, okay? But it's, I wanted to mention, I don't know if all of you, possibly all of you have heard, about Nelson Mandela's death. He died third. Mandela on a lot of different. Hold on, they're garbling again. Hold on. All right, like I said, hold on. All right, we're back. And again, powers that be will possibly be attacking the on and off no cause this Q&A because it's live, and they can more readily and they can record. So Can everybody hear me out there? If you can hear me, let me know. Can you hear me out there? Okay. Still kind of choppy. Okay. Well, they're checking. And in one respect, you know why they're acting, because they don't want you to flip it too soon.
Oh, that's not good.
You can see it. You got it. Okay. What'd you say? He sounds bad. Yeah, well, he stays that way right about me now. Okay. But again, as I said, I know many of you know about Nelson Mandela's death. Copy again. Yeah, he's on the warpath now. So, like I said, it's a shame. Shame that he does it. But again, we do the best we can, and hopefully y'all let come through. What needs to be heard. Okay. He said, just going, it'll be all right. I hear you, Cole. But again, Nelson Mandela, he's passed. He fought the best fight he could over 90, well, I'll say at least 80 something years. But again, he had to compromise, right? Because he knew not Yah. And when you compromise, that's basically capitulation. That's all that is. And here at Yah Righteousness, we're never going to compromise. It's Yah's way or no way. Period. Simple as that. It's Yah's way or no way. There is no compromise ever from the way of the Most High. Now, we're open for questions, and because if I one or two things I was going to say, it'll come back to me. It kind of left me with this interference. That's why they do what they do. But those of you out there that's got questions, come on with them. Okay, this is Beulah. Yah bless. Okay, peace. Happy Sabbath. Okay, peace to you, Beulah. Okay. Could you give me the time frame of the beginning of the writing again of Christianity from 200 BC to when? And also, okay, well, let me deal with the first one first. First of all, Christianity didn't start in 200 BCE. From what Esau came up with, the illuminated ones who were with Ptolemy. Once they disposed of Alexander in 3 CE, came on the throne of Egypt, became Ptolemy's Soter, Ptolemy the First. And they simultaneously became up with, and I've talked about that on some things we done. Look more expensive. You can see those shows. This book, Serapis or Serapis. Okay, well, they came up.
It's on now. Well, it
Okay,
was.
we say it's transmitting. Can you hear me? Okay. All right, y'all look. Yeah, they took our mic, so I got to go back again. I hope everybody can hear me now. But in answering Beulah's question again, there was no Christianity, until at some time, from what we can see, after 135 CE AD, when the descendants of Esau got kicked out of the land. In other words, when their diaspora began. And, we know they got kicked out of the land of Israel in 135 CE AD after the 3-year rebellion of Simon Bar Kokhba, who they were calling the Messiah, right? In 320 BCE, when after Ptolemy and the illuminated Edomites had poisoned Alexander, and he died a couple of years earlier, then they introduced Serapis or Serapis. Like I said, you can go back in some of the shows we did with Mark Sims, and you'll see I talked about that, and I showed a picture of Serapis or Serapis, and how this picture, and I made mention how I showed it to different people, a few people, and asked them who was it, without them allowing them to see the name underneath, and they thought it was Jesus, right? Because that's who it looks like, you see. So that's like the forerunner of Christianity, was Serapis or Serapis, okay? But again, Christianity is predicated, it's got, the illuminated Edomite understood that our weakness rested should I say, as you have many people today that they're afraid of death. They don't want to ever die themselves. But listening to this last session, you heard me talk about the seeds. That's the forever, is the seeds, not individuals. Now, and the only thing about individuals is, again, males, their seed lives on forever. Like Abraham, he's got a lot of seed in the, like always has, Yah's got everlasting covenant with David, right? It always has to be one of his seed that's on the throne, being governed, that's high priest, and Yah has an everlasting covenant with the Lewites, okay? It's always their seed that are the priest, okay? And Yah has an everlasting covenant with Israel. It will always be descendants out of those 13 boys, right? The sons of Jacob, or Israel, right? It will always be some of their seed on this earth, always. And those are everlasting covenants. Now, again, Esau, the illuminated ones, understood our weaknesses because they had the history of Egypt. We spent in. Because again, okay, they're chanting. Can you hear me now?
Yes, it must coincide with the cursor when it's going
okay,
around.
Can you hear me? All right. Well, and again, let me say this. This is being recorded, so if you're having a hard time now, possibly you'll go back when Yeshaya puts this up, and you'll be able to go over it again, and hopefully without the interruptions. Now, can I hold your questions right now? Let me answer these questions that's been put up, okay? When you see me starting to get to the last question, then you start putting your question. Okay, now again, so when Esau saw that our weaknesses rested in wanting to live forever, okay, and as he also saw we were weak to Baal or Bel, okay, the idols of the Canaanites, You follow me? And again, you see this in also the idol of the Midianites, as you see in chapter 25 Numbers. That's where you first see basically our encounter people with Baal or Baal. Okay? And you see what happened there when you go there in Numbers chapter 25 and read that. Now, like Christianity basically, again, as far as it's being promulgated, sometime after 135 CE AD. Okay, and we can see in 311 it was as back Constantine. Okay, it says also, you know, Isaiah the 2nd chapter of the awakening, and is it about the past, present, or future? Okay, now the 32nd chapter of Yeshaya. Wait just a minute, let me get there. Okay, now this is talking about the near future, you know, I mean near future, okay? That's what this is talking about. Because it's talking about us coming out of this deep sleep. You see that verse in verse 2? A man shall be as a hiding place from the wind and a covert from the tempest. There's rivers of waters in a dry place. And in verse 3 too, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land, and the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. The heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge, and the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly. That's now, right now. And then also, you know, parts of this is in the very, very near future. Okay? But a lot of this is going on right now. Okay? Because again, to those of us who've awakened, right, you see verse 5 when it says the vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the curl said to be bountiful. See, and again, you know, people call me and they say to me, a person just called me a few days ago and he says to me that he felt as though he was causing many to be about Christianity and the followers of the idol Jesus, right? And his reasoning was because he tells them he's about Yah, but he's like struggling, and they about the main idol of Christianity, Jesus, Yeshua, Yahashua, right? And he's told me that, you know, they're doing okay. They got a home, they got cars, you know what I'm saying? And they're telling him, look what Jesus is doing for me. Yah don't look like he's doing, you know, anything for you. All right, but again, like I said to him, as I said here, I think the September session, people need to read the 37th Psalm, be times and often. Okay? The 37th Psalm, people need to read be and often. And your answers to that kind of situation is in there. Because again, as I've said to people in the past, when your situation is not getting better, then you need to look at that person that's looking back at you in the mirror, right? You need to look at yourself and really examine yourself truthfully. Because if your situation is not getting better over a period of time, then it's something that you're not doing that you should be doing, or it's something that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. Okay? One or the other. All right? And again, remember, I've spoken on this before. When you come to Yah, you know, it's similar to what I talked about in regards to a person cleaning up their past physically, you know, by going on cleanse and cleaning out that garbage that they were eating that they didn't know was garbage. You follow what I'm saying? Or that they were raised on, if you were like me. You follow what I'm saying? You were raised on, I was raised on garbage because my parents didn't know any better. You see what I'm saying? So just like you have to go back and clean yourself up and out, that way you have to clean up your past. In other words, you got to answer for those things that you did that were iniquitous, okay? Whether you knew it was wrong or not, you gotta, you gotta clean up your past that way too. And like I've said in the past, you go to Ecclesiastes, Solomon, right? In chapter 11, you see what he says there? In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, I'll just read this, part I'm talking about. Okay, rejoice, O young man, in thy youth, and let thy heart cheer thee in the days of thy youth, and walk in the ways of thine heart and in the sight of thine eyes. But know you that for all these things Yah will bring thee into judgment. Okay? Therefore remove sorrow from thy heart and put away evil from thy flesh, for childhood and youth are vanity, worthless. So again, by us being Israel, okay, we were raised in iniquity, right? Because when you read the curse, Deuteronomy 28, 15 through 67, we would be scattered to wherever we were scattered, and we would take on the ways of the heathen. Whatever people we were living around, we were to take on their customs and their ways, right? So we were raised as roots out of dry ground. Isn't that what it says in 53rd chapter Yeshaya? We're roots out of dry ground. We weren't watered with the knowledge of Yah from birth. Now, quite naturally, you've got some people that are, younger than myself, okay? Say maybe 20 years younger than me, maybe not quite 20 years younger than me. And some not that much, maybe younger than I am, who were raised as Israelites, right? But again, if they weren't raised in total submission to Yah, then they still were raised in iniquity. Like David said, I was born in sin and shapen by iniquity. Okay, so again, when we awaken, in other words, 53:10 Yeshaya, and see our seed and connect with our history, then we have to what? Make a decision. And if we decide we're going to serve Yah of hosts, and we might not know his name initially, right? But the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, right? The strong one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. If we decide we're going to serve him, we got to go and read this book, study it, and as time goes by, Yah, he starts to feed us, enlighten us with knowledge, okay? And hopefully wisdom, as I've spoken of in the past, right? And we have to make the right decision all along the way, whether we're going to serve Yah, Deuteronomy 30 verse 2, with all our heart and soul or not. But at the same time, we have to get a certain amount of retribution. It won't be exactly as it would have been if we had continued on in wickedness, right? But we have to get a certain amount of retribution. You understand what I'm saying? Repercussions and consequences for our actions for things that we had done prior. And again, you can, see this, what Yah talks about in regards to this in Jeremiah chapter 30, right? And I'll just read that to you too, right? Now this is Jeremiah or Jeremiah chapter 30, and you see what Yah says. I'm gonna pick this up at verse 10. Therefore fear thou not, O my servant Jacob, saith Yah, and neither be dismayed, O Israel, for lo, I will save thee from afar, and thy seed from the land of their captivity. And Jacob shall return, and shall be in rest, and be quiet, and none shall make him afraid. For I am with thee, saith Yah, to save thee. Though I make a full end of all nations where I have scattered thee, yet will I not make a full end of thee. But I will correct thee in measure, and will not leave thee altogether unpunished. Okay? Because again, you see the next verse, verse 12? For thus saith Yah, thy bruise is incurable, and thy wound grievous. Okay? And also, you can check out Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 19, where Yah talks about how we wounded him. Okay? Because we turned our back on him, right? We kicked him to the curb after all the things he had done for us as a people. And started worshiping the works of men's hands, idolatries, right? And concepts conceived out of a man or men's heart. So Yah's not, he doesn't leave us altogether unpunished. You can look at that from the perspective of refinement, okay? Because he's got to make us over again, right? And that's the refining. You follow me? That's also what you see in the purification. Malachi chapter 3, when Yah talks about how his messenger shall purify the sons of Lewi. Okay, well, again, that purification is going on as we speak, right? Because again, so many people, males, females, young or older, Gentiles, without a question, Israelites have called here and they've said to me, Yahudah, I didn't know chicken was incorrect. I didn't know chicken eggs were incorrect. I've had some say to me, Yahudah, I didn't know the chicken was not supposed to be eaten. Can we eat the egg? And I say to them, look, that's what's inside the egg is a chicken fetus, right? So if the chickens are clean, and they're like, oh, yeah, okay, I got it, Yahudah. But then some people, they say to me, I didn't know the turkey was in the buzzard family. I didn't know it was unclean, all right? Some people say to me, Yahudah, I didn't know that you're not supposed to go out on the seventh day Sabbath. Okay, and then I direct them to 23:3 Leviticus, right? And 16:29 Exodus, right? When Yah said to Moses, when some of them, our forefathers went out in the wilderness looking for the manna, right? And Yah said, how long they gonna refuse to obey my commandments? And what did Moses say to the people? You understand? Let every man abide in his place on the Sabbath day. Isn't that the same thing was being said in Leviticus 23:3 about that seventh day Sabbath? Is a holy convocation in all thy dwellings. So your dwelling is your place. Wherever you are on the seventh day Sabbath, that's where you're supposed to be. Whether it's a hotel room, a motor inn room, if it's a cardboard box up under the bridge, that's where you're supposed to be at rest. Some people didn't understand that, okay? It's just like when, last year, one of the sessions, and I brought out the point about how when you pray to Yah, you have to turn toward Jerusalem, okay? When you're going to pray to Yah, if you want Yah to hear you. And I pointed out where this was in Solomon's supplication. 1 Kings 8, 2 Chronicles 6, right? And Yah accepted that supplication in the succeeding chapters, right? And it was a sister that I had been talking to for about 3-4 years. She called here, and she's in New York. She's like, she said, I heard that said, she said, and now she's been knowing she's in Israel for years, okay? For years. And she said, you know what, I never, that got by me. She said, but you're right. She said, I looked at it, she said, that's right. She said, but I've been reading all these years and it never hit me. See, so it's things like that are what? Purifying, purification. You understand? Being refined, okay? To where we get in harmony with Yah's law, with his righteousness. See, because again, as I've said in the past, and different ones of you have been following Yah Rice, been listening to Yah Rice, been going on the site, listening to these things. You've heard me say, this is not hand grenades and horseshoes, okay? This is not about being close, all right? We got to be dead on the money. We got to dot every I and cross every T. This is, again, why I have adjured people be times than often. Just like I just did at the opening up of this. I don't know if it was garbled, so I'll say it again. When this room is open, whether it's a new recording, whether it's live or not, when this room is open and things are being played, Yah righteousness, it's not time for a lot of bantering back and forth, okay? It's time to be focused, because always remember, again, as I've said in the past, on this seventh-day Sabbath, this is the seventh-day Sabbath, Yah's holy day, okay? Now, quite naturally, you got some people out there, they want to take issue with that. They're like, well, how do you know that, y'all? You know, how do you know this the seventh day since they changed time? But the point being is, as far as this calendar that we have, right, which is an intercalated calendar, we've spoken on this before, predicated on the lunar and the solar, all right? They came up with it during the time of, who was that, the Gregorian calendar, Pope Gregory, right? You know he's an Edomite, more likely than not. But you know they was controlling everything, whether he was a Gentile or not. But the point being is, we know they fooled with time. Yah told us they were going to do that in Daniel chapter 7 at the back end of the, well, around the middle of the chapter, right? That little horn on the head of the fourth beast, that little horn on the head of the fourth beast, or the fourth kingdom, Augustus Octavianus Caesar. And it was during his time when they changed time and laws. But nevertheless, when we look at this calendar, it's got a seventh day on it. And that's all it says in Genesis chapter 1, that on the seventh day Yah refreshed himself, he rested, he sanctified the seventh day. It doesn't call it out by name, it just says that. So we look at this seventh day, they call it Saturn Day or Saturday, because, you know, they were in the worshiping the stars, the host of heaven, right? That's what they call the seventh day. That's neither here nor there. We know it's the seventh day we got, and we rest. Again, I read chapter on, and part of the book on the seventh day, chapter 50, chapter, where he talks about the whole thing that's acceptable to him, right? And he tells you about the do's and the don'ts. Now, quite naturally, it's over there in the 23rd chapter of Leviticus 2 to a degree, right? But this 58th chapter, Yeshua, he really breaks it down about what's to be done, what's, you know, and what he expects us to do, if, you know, those of us who are serving him on his holy day. All right. So again, that's all we got. That's what we deal with. And as I said at some point in the past, you know, Yah righteousness is here, and we got here at this point, November 7th, 2013, right? Obeying that seventh day Sabbath, totally breaking yoke, at rest, in compliance. You're not pursuing your own ways of speaking your words. And that's again why on this internet, you know, hold on. All right, can everybody hear me out there? If you can hear me, let me know. You know, because I was just told they didn't want you to hear about, you know, Saturday being, you know, named after Saturn. They're star worshipers, right? But nevertheless, it's the seventh day on this intercalated calendar. And that's all it says in that first chapter, Genesis. Okay, so that's what we go by. All right. But we know they're star worshipers, so, you know, they call the different days and whatnot by the names of some of the stars that they named. Okay, just like they named many of the months after their idols, who were inanimate objects like Janus, January, right? next month in worship of the two-faced idol, or they named months of the year after themselves. Okay, you know, like Octavianus October, right? He was also called Augustus August. His great uncle Julius Caesar July, right? So on and so forth. So you know, we understand these things, and you know, but nevertheless we obey the seventh day, Sabbath. Okay, and so that's what we go by. Simple as that. Okay, what's next? Hold on, let's get to the next question.
Go way back. I gotta take this off. I gotta. Abijah sending a message. Where is it?
With the next question.
Okay.
Hold on, we'll be there in a second. Okay, because we know, you know, some people are getting kicked out of the room. That's the powers that be. But just be patient, and you know, Yah's, he's the king. He'll work it out. We're trying to find the next question. Okay, so let's just do this. All you with questions,
Okay,
you know.
here is
Okay.
this one right here.
All right, here's a question here. Jeremiah 50 verse 3, for out of the north there comes up a nation against, okay, and against her which shall make her land desolate, and none shall dwell there, and they shall remove, they shall depart, both man and beast. Who are these from the land of the north? Okay, well, the land of the north, again, is what they call Russia today. Okay, and you know, you'll see them mentioned in Ezekiel chapter 38. You know, Gog, Magog, Tubal, Togarma. Okay, and these are these people out of north. You know, that they used to be all called Russia. Now, you know, after Esau basically, you know, tells everybody communism, you know, he had his communism played his part. So now communism basically blinked and went out in what, 1990, 1991. So they don't talk about communism anymore, or the red threat. All right, now it's Russia, Moscow. But again, that's those nations and those people in the north. And if you look at the globe, those of us here in America, just look north. What do you see? When you look north from America, you see Canada, right? Keep looking north. What do you see? You see Alaska, right? And then keep looking north past Alaska. You go around on the other side, and there's what? Siberia, Russia. Okay? From the north. You know, if you check on about the missiles here in America, the nuclear missiles, you know where they are? You know where they're located? They're located in the north of America. You know, all up there around Utah, them places. That's where them silos are. And I give you one guess where they aimed. They aimed around on the other side of the globe, north. Okay? All right? But again, you understand, it's going to be many nations. As you see when you read chapter 50 and 51, Jeremiah, no nation is going to be with America when Yah brings this onslaught on the daughter of Babylon, the United States of America. And again, it's going to be this country that's going to start that nuclear war. And that's what you see in Yeshaya, Isaiah chapter 13, chapter 14, specifically. When you read 14th chapter and you get into that 14th chapter, what does it say? They're going to say, what does Yah say? He said, all the great kings of the earth lie in their own sepulcher, right? In their glory. But these people here that'll be here when this happens are going to be cast out like an abominable branch. They're not going to get a burial because it's going to be a nuclear war, and this country is going to be destroyed in one day. And no country is going to be with this country. as it says in Jeremiah 50 and 51, its mother's not even going to help it. You know, the mother is Britain, right? They're not even going to be able to help it. They're not even going to try to help it, right? But what does it say in the 14th chapter, Yeshai? They're going to say, what? Is this the man that destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the doors of the prison house? All right? See, so this country is going to start the war. When you really look at it, you can see Yah maneuvering this country. It's already being maneuvered into the position where it's going to start this war. Because, again, you look at where Yah has operated through the international bankers. They've moved America now as the biggest, and it hasn't just become this. It's been this now for some years, right? The biggest debtor nation on the planet, right? 17, 18 trillion dollars straight out. You know, over 100 trillion when you start factoring in Medicare and SSI, you know, Social Security, right? When you start factoring in all that, it's over $100 trillion. Well, there's no way that this country can pay that bill. All that money's owed to the bankers. You follow what I'm saying? That's what I talked about. When you go back there again, all of you who might have missed it, and you listen to that when I read that article out of the Midnight Messenger about the real reason for the Civil War. Okay, well, what did the bankers slide in? You understand, when Lincoln came up with the greenback, what did the bankers make sure was in that passage? They made sure that all of the foreign debt, right? All foreign debt had to be paid with gold, you understand, and or silver, not with paper. And see, that was the trick in the game. You know, you go back there and listen to that, you hear me talk about that in that article, right? What that article's talking about, you hear me expound on that. That was the trick in the game. Well, again, all of the debt now is owed to the bankers. When they got the Federal Reserve set up in 1913, you understand, and they're controlling all the machinations of finance here in America and other countries as well. That's why you see the whole world in economic collapse, because the Illuminati Edomite is doing their best to move the world and the people thereof into abject poverty where they can totally control them, okay? I mean, you know, that's why they set up the religion of Christianity. More likely than not, they had a hand in setting up the religion of Islam. If they didn't have any problem with it, because they understand that all religions won't do anything but anesthetize a person's mind. In other words, have them walking dead, totally cut off from the Creator. And by being in religions, it puts a person where they are in total submission to the illuminated Amalekite bankers. They understand that. All right, simple as that. When they set up parliaments, when they set up governments, when they set up, democracy, democracy, when they set up communism, okay, they had control of the people, okay, with their, like I said, Congresses and Republicans and Democrats and liberals and Whig Party and the Knessets, and all of this is to, again, diversity, to break the people down into little cliques, whatever that clique is called, where they could be controlled, you see, and pitted against one another. You follow me? But at the same time, Esau creates these dialectics, and from these dialectics, again, you get thesis, antithesis, to bring about the desired result, which is your synthesis. And when he breaks the people down into these little cliques, then you have your thesis, antithesis, and then by him controlling, the cliques themselves, the governments, he controls finances. All right, he took control of the educational systems of most of the world. All right, he teaches the people what he wants them to think. He teaches them what to think, now how to think, right? And that's all, them molding and shaping people's minds. You follow what I'm saying? Just like they control basically all your news media. You follow me? Remember what I said about this internet. They let this internet go on, again, to monitor the people. You follow what I'm saying? But at the same time, Yah allows these venues to be used. Okay? He allows these venues to be used. All right? To get across his message. You see? And his message steadily gets out. Constantly. Continually. And like I said before, if we never do another one of these sessions, it's more than enough out on the internet that people have downloaded, because they tell me they download these sessions. All right, they've copied these shows. Ones we did, but many people have done this, so they've got it. You see, they tell me their children listen to it on their iPods. They play it when they're in the car. See, so they've got it. So they're getting choppy again. Can everybody hear me out there? If you can, let me know. Okay? So again, people are downloading these things. See, so the people who are able and capable of doing that, and if you're able and capable of doing that, don't hesitate in doing it. All right? So that you'll have it. You follow what I'm saying? Because it's going to come a time, again, as I've spoken of not long ago, where Yah intimates that, what does he say in 55, was it 55 Yeshaya? Come to Yah while he may be found, while he is near. Okay? And he's talking about here in the daughter of Babylon, United States of America. Okay? And this is intimated again over in Zechariah. Okay? Zechariah chapter 9. I'll read it to you. Okay? You see what it says? I'm going to pick this up at verse 11. As for thee also, by the blood of thy covenant, I have sent forth thy prisoners out of the pit wherein is no water. Turn you to the stronghold, ye prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I will render double unto thee. Okay? Now that's after the Jerusalem movement has left. And that Yah is saying that to the people who will remain here in the pit wherein there is no water. The daughter of Babylon, United States of America, the furnace of affliction. Yeshaya chapter 48, verse 9. The furnace of affliction, the pit wherein there is no water. But Yah is saying, even after this Jerusalem movement is brought out of here, what does he say? He still promises hope to those who will remain here, still be here, right? Who more likely will only awaken when they see the Jerusalem, the first time they really awaken is when they see the Jerusalem movement leaves here. And Yah brings it at the behest and through these elite of the earth to Jerusalem. Okay? Because at that time, who's to say that this internet will even still be going on? Who's to say that this site that Yeshaya puts up, right, will still be up, or anything that anybody else that has put things up, Yah writes it on Facebook or on this internet? Who's to say all of this won't be taken out? Because again, Yah says the pit wherein is no water, right? See, but by that time, you understand, again, just like with myself, I mean, I didn't have any of this per se when I started reading. Okay? Like I've said in the past, I came in contact with a couple of people who had been reading for some years prior to myself, after I had started reading, and so I was able to access them for a lot of information that Yah gave to me through them, but still it was not the information that Yah has illuminated me to this day. It was a lot of things that, I still didn't understand that they didn't understand. Okay? And I've touched on this in the past, but my point in saying this, again, people can come to this book and they can grasp a lot of things, but we can see in Yeshaya chapter 2 and Micah chapter 4 What does it say there? And that's the last gathering, the one that's called the second gathering in Yeshaya chapter 11, right? When Yah's going to reach out a second time, but that time he's going to bring people from the four corners of the earth, and it's going to be people of different nations. Not only going to be Israelites, it's going to be Gentiles, going to be Hamites, Shemites, okay? They're going to come. And what are they going to say? Come, let us go up to the house of Yah, to the mountain this degree. Okay? Because again, he illuminates his arm, his movement that's called by his name. Gobbling it up again. Hold on.
No mic. No Shemite.
So they took the mic. What part didn't you hear? What part didn't you hear? What's the last part you heard? I'll just go back. I'll go back. All right, y'all bless.
I said cut off that Gentiles will come and say.
Okay, thank you, healing in his wings. But again, you know, they're messing with it, but hopefully, you know, y'all let the message get through as always, right? Thank you, healing in his wings. But again, the Gentiles, right? They're going to come and say, you know, you see this, not only Gentiles now, right? You see this in Micah chapter 4, Yeshaya chapter 2. It's going to be people of many nations. That's what it says, correct? Many nations, not just Gentiles. Hamites, Shemites, what have you. All right? They're going to say, come, let us go up to the house of Yah, to the mountain of the strong one of Yaakov, and let him teach us of his ways. All right? Because it's Yah that gives wisdom and understanding. Okay? So now what's the next question?
You know, there was one way before you started.
Okay, well, you know. We're looking for the next question. Hold on. Yada says she saw something. Is that it? Okay, this is from Yeshaya. The church has a grip on our people. How come we don't contact high-profile media to get the message out? I guess that's like Oprah, or Spike Lee, or Tyler Perry, or YouTube tag to high-profile current events to GE, whatever G is. I don't know what that means. Get the message. Okay, I've spoken on this in the past. I'll speak on it again. See, Oprah, Spike Lee, these people, if you've seen Spike Lee lately, all right, at the basketball games he likes to go to, what does he have around his neck? Okay, a huge cross. All right, double cross around his neck. See, Spike Lee's cut off. Oprah's cut off. All right. I mean, Oprah, you understand? She's totally controlled, as is Spike Lee. You follow me? All those people you just named, they can't understand anything. And if they did, if they began to, any one of them, and started talking like this, Esau would immediately attack them. Make no mistake about it. He would immediately attack them. Because let me tell you this, and understand this well. The Illuminati Edomites got a file on all those people you just mentioned and everybody else in the public eye. He knows into all of them. All right? Things that you don't know about these people. Believe me, he got pictures, he got tapes, he got the whole work. He got a file on every one of them. And all of their misdeeds, all their nastiness, okay? All of their perversion, all right? He got a file on them, okay? Knee deep, believe that, all right? And if you ever want to understand what I'm saying to you, and know how this is a truth. It's a book called Red Fog Over America by William Guy Carr, you know, because he also wrote Pawns in the Game. Pawns in the Game was first. Red Fog Over America came next. We got it here. I read it years ago, many years ago. All right? Red Fog Over America by William Guy Carr. I have no doubt there's some other books that's probably going to tell you similar, okay? But William Guy Carr, Red Fog Over America, that's talking about how the powers that be, again, the Illuminati, how they get dossiers on everybody that they have in their employ or they vault into the public eye. And if anybody gets out of line, they open up that file on them and immediately attack them and bring them down, disgrace them. And again, I just, you know, I point you to a movie that possibly many of you saw. What's the name of the movie with Will Smith? What's the name of that movie?
Enemy of the State.
Yeah, Enemy of the State. Okay, any of y'all ever saw Enemy of the State? Is when they realized, okay, that he had that tape, right? They immediately went on the attack and attacked his character. You know, the way they got it in Enemy of the State, you know, certain things they brought out about him weren't true. You understand what I'm saying? But in this situation, they got truth on all them people. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Oprah Winfrey, Tiger Woods, you understand what I mean? And Gentiles too, Edomites too. All right? They'll come out and they will attack you. You see what I'm saying? And destroy your, you know, credibility, will attack you financially. They'll come up with something that you did, you understand, that they lured you in to do. You follow what I'm saying? That was fraud or inappropriate on how you did certain things, and they will bring charges on you, okay? Make no mistake about that. So it doesn't do any good to try to contact these people. See, the main thing that those who serve Yah has to do is serve Yah with all your heart and soul. Turn to him, submit and obey with all your heart and soul, and then he will lead you. And I direct you to 57 Yeshaya. Okay? I've mentioned that not long ago, but I'll just read it, this piece to you in the 57th chapter, Yeshaya, Isaiah. Okay? Now you see, I will pick this up. I'll pick this up at verse 15. But thus saith the high and lofty one that inhabits eternity, whose name is holy. I dwell in the high and holy place, with him also that is of a contrite and humble spirit, to revive the spirit of the humble, and to revive the heart of the contrite ones. For I will not contend forever, neither will I always be wroth, or neither will I be always wroth. Right? And wrath means anger, right? So Yah's telling us he's not going to be angry forever, right? Now, you see what he's going to say? For the spirit should fail before me, and the souls which I have made. Because he knows one day we got to die. One day I got to die. One day everybody's flesh has to die. One day. You live on through your seed, as I said earlier, and as I said in the past, right? But Yah understands once he inseminates this illumination into us, we're not going to live forever. That's why he says he's not going to always be angry at us. And make no mistake about it, he was most angry with the descendants of Jerusalem. Okay? He was most angry with them. That's why he put a double curse on Jerusalem and the descendants of Jerusalem. All right? And again, you know, just the consummate, you know, if you just want to do something consummate, just go to the 16th chapter Ezekiel and read that chapter. And it tells you why he's so upset with Jerusalem and the descendants of Jerusalem per se. What he understood, what he had to do to us, the descendants of Jerusalem, to get some of us to turn back to Yah with all our heart and soul and obey. Remember what I said once before, a couple of times before, with Yeshaya chapter 52. What does Yah say? You know, he said, you understand, you just, okay, awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. See, he's talking about Jerusalem. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. Jerusalem. This is not talking about this. For henceforth there shall no more come thee. Shake thyself from the dust and sit down, O Jerusalem. See, he's telling us to do this for ourselves because it's up to us. The decision is up to each and every one of us. All right? Whether you Jerusalem or not, you know, any of mankind, the decision is yours to make. Right? Whether you're going to serve Yah or not. Right? But this is specifically Jerusalem. Right? And he's saying, loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter. Because you know, Zion, because it rests with us to make the right decisions on a consistent basis. For thus said, yeah, you have sold yourselves for naught, right? And you should be redeemed without money. Because again, we sold ourselves for nothing. We embraced lies and deception. We embraced idolatry. We didn't stay, you know, stay with Yah host, the tree of life, the living creator. We turned our back on him, right? And wounded him in the egregious wound. You understand? Because we rejected him, right? And many of you out there who've had, you know, relationships, whether you male or female, at some point in your life, possibly you got rejected, and it wasn't, you didn't feel good about it, right? When you got rejected. Well, just we talking about Yah of hosts now, and all what he did for Israel, all what he did when he created Jerusalem, what you read about in Ezekiel 16 chapter. Okay? And we rejected him, and we started for nothing. I mean, because these idols and images are nothing. You know, Baal, right? Yahashua, Yahushua, Mary of the New Testament, right? The cross, the stone, Allah, the black stone in the Kaaba, the wood and the stone that Yah said that we would worship, right? In the curse. You understand? We rejected Yah for nothing. Okay? So what is he saying here? He says, I'm in verse 4, for thus says Yah, the Lord Yah, my people went down in the foretime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. You know, that's when, you understand, we, you know, Yahweh said Joseph had died, and then years later, you understand what I'm saying? Not long, you know, around the 18th century BCE, right? That's when the Assyrian came in and took over Egypt. They became the head of Egypt. And they're Shemites too, like we are. And so when they saw how we were multiplying, you follow what I'm saying? Because our forefathers at that time had gone into, you know, idolatry long before this. You understand? Because they started going into idolatry in Egypt after the 30th year of being in Egypt. That's the 400 years of affliction. You know, they were in Egypt 430 years. Then after 30 years, they started going into the idols and images of Egypt. Ezekiel chapter 23, right? Other places, but I'm just putting you on consummate places where you can go and read that. And we sold ourselves for naught. So what is Yah saying here? And again, the Assyrians started, you know, they started in increasing that affliction on us at that time when they took over in Egypt. Okay? Because we were more than they, numbers wise. You follow me? So again, what is Yah is basically saying when he says we sold ourselves for naught and we shall be redeemed without money? We went into captivity because of our iniquity. Isn't that right? So he's saying to us, just like what you see in Deuteronomy chapter 30, right? The first 3 verses, really the first 2 verses and the first 2 words in the 3rd verse. When Moses told our forefathers, he said, you're going to go across this Jordan. First you go inherit the blessing. He said, then you go inherit the curse, right? And then he says, and when you call all these things to mind in the nations where you've been scattered, right, to the 4 quarters of the earth, when any of us who seek Yah today, see, we seek peace and or truth and or righteousness and or salvation, and or the creator, Yah of hosts, right? Any one of those things, a combination thereof, all those things with all our heart and soul, then Yah's going to do what? What do we see in Yeshaya chapter 44? Those of us like that, he pours his spirit on. Because we're looking for him. We don't necessarily know we're looking for him, right? Yeshaya chapter 65 at the top. I'm sought of them that sought me not. I'm found of them that asked not for me. But that's who we looking for. Yah of hosts. And he's going to do what? Pour spirit upon us. All right? Similar to what you see, same thing, you understand, what you see in Genesis chapter 2. It's the way Esau translated it. What does it say? Yah had not caused it to rain upon the earth. That's not talking about water there. That's talking about spirit. You follow me? Because the people back then wasn't looking for Yah. But he created Adam to be the intercessor, right? You follow me? That's why it was no mate found for Adam, because those women back there at that time, they was all in idolatries and nonsense. So Adam being created to be the intercessor for Yah, he couldn't take one of those women, right? So similar today, you follow what I'm saying? Yah has created, he's those of us that search for him, he's pouring his spirit on, like he said he would in the 44th chapter of Yeshaya. And just like what you see there in Zechariah, right? Chapter 2. What does he say there? I'll read it to you. I'm in chapter 2, or Zechariah. I think a few days ago, and again, I'm gonna come back to this, but I hit these things when y'all brings them to me. Now listen and focus well, right? Again, like I said to him, I said, brother, if you think this is the second Egypt, then it can't be just America. It would have to be what? Puerto Rico, Cuba, Jamaica, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Grenada, yes, Brazil, and a lot of other places on the other side of the world. Now, if you want to deal with just the ship part of it, where we would be taken into these places with ships, all right? Again, Esau's messing with the mic, but I hope it's back now. Can y'all hear me? Because I know he doesn't want you to hear some of this. Can you hear me? Let me know. Yeah. All right. Now, yeah, you follow me? You can't just say America's Egypt, because again, all these other nations where we were taken to on this side of the world would have to be Egypt as well. All right, that our immediate forefathers, so to speak, 500-600 years ago, started to be brought to this side of the world in ships. You can't just make America Egypt. You would have to make all these islands and whatnot, these different lands we were taken to. Like I said, Brazil, you understand what I'm saying? Puerto Rico, Cuba, Grenada, Jamaica, Haiti, Dominican Republic. I mean, we can go on and on and on, right? They would have to be Egypt too. All right? See? So again, this is the daughter of Babylon, like you see here in Zechariah chapter 2. And I'm going to pick it back up again, and we'll pick it back up in verse 8. I left off at verse 7. For thus saith Yah of hosts, after the glory hath he sent me unto the nations which spoiled you. For he that touches you touches the apple of his eye. And why is that? Because again, those of us who seek Yah, you follow me? Because we're totally disenchanted. You understand? Like I've said in the past, when you go back there to 1 Samuel, right? And you pick it up at verse, was it 22? I'm going to read it to you. All right? 1 Samuel, I said verse, but I meant chapter 22. Okay? It's right at the top. 1 Samuel chapter 22. You see what it says there? David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave of Adullam, And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down there to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented, gathered themselves unto him, and he became a captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men. All right? So again, what do we see today? You understand? Those who are discontented, those who are in debt, those who are having troubles, you understand? Those who are confused, those who, tired of their situation, tired of all of the chaos and upheaval that they're in. They get to looking for what? They get to looking for the Most High. That's what the poor spirit on. You see, the apple of his eye. But again, when you get this spirit poured on you, see, and then you what? You see your seed at some point. If you keep making the decision in pursuit of those things your heart desires, right? Peace and or truth and or righteousness and or salvation and or who is the true living creator. You follow me? Then he pours his spirit on you at some point. 53:10, Yeshaya. You're going to see your seed. You're going to connect with your roots, and then you're going to be led to this book of remembrance, so-called Old Testament, and you're going to start reading. And the more you read, the more you study, the more you pray, the more you do what you're reading, the more Yah enlightens you, the more you see, the more you understand. Okay? You follow me? See, again, nothing new up under the sun. We see a similar situation with David, right? 1 Samuel chapter 22 at the top. Because it didn't say that the rich, gathered around David, did it? That's another reason what the person just brought up about contacting Spike Lee and, you understand, Oprah Winfrey and Tiger Woods, Jay-Z and Beyonce. These people they don't want to hear anything about they under no curse. How can they understand that? That's why, again, I say to you, go in and read Psalms 37. All right? Now I'm going to just go there. I'm just going to read a little bit. If you go there on your own and check this out. But you see what Yah says, and really this is David that wrote this, right? I say Yah at times because, you get all wisdom and understanding from Yah if you got it. And David had it. You follow me? And you see what David says here? I'm going to pick it up from the top. I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can do that on your own, but I'm just going to read what I'm alluding to here. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be you envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb. Trust in Yah and do good, so you shall dwell in the land, and verily you shall be fed. Delight thyself also in Yah, and he shall give thee the desires of thine heart. You hear that? Commit thy way unto Yah, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. All right? And David goes on to say that these people who were spread themselves like a green bay tree that looked like they was around at one point and they couldn't be found because they had fallen and were no more. Okay? David also says in this chapter that he was young and now he was old when he wrote this. Follow me? And he said, but he's never seen a righteous man's seed begging bread. See? Now these were life lessons that David is communicating here in chapter 37 Psalm. So again, that's why we don't contact those people. If they're looking for Yah, Yah will bring them to his movement if they're looking for him. See, because it's choppy again. Is it back? Okay, but see again, we don't go try to connect with these people who are, Esau has set up and basically lifted up and given them a lot of public exposure and put them in the position to have what it seems, accumulation of wealth. Because again, they're not going to hear it. You follow me? They don't don't look at themselves as being cursed. See? Plus the fact who are in the public eye, like your Oprah Winfrey's, your Spike Lee's, and whatnot. Okay, they chopping it up again. Yeah, I know they don't want you to hear this. I know they don't want you to hear it. It's still choppy. Let me know when it clears up. You know, I have to kind of keep on talking so that you know when it's okay now. But like I said, the powers that be, they don't want, you know, you to hear this, because again, see, these people who they put into the public eye, that they've allowed to accumulate, you know, what it seems to be large sums of wealth. These people, first of all, they don't look at themselves under a curse. Second of all, if you were to contact them, if we were to send them a flyer, you know what the average one of these people are going to think? That you want something from them. First thing they're going to come in their mind, they want some money, right? See? And Yah's situation doesn't depend on any one person, or see, because again, that's why he's saying what he's saying to the descendants of Jerusalem. You follow me? He's saying, deliver yourself. If you are disenchanted, in other words, with your position, Jerusalem, if you don't like your situation, Zion, Jerusalem, then deliver thyself. Okay? Okay, chop it up. I know they want you. It is. But you know what I'll do for those, you know, what I'll do is, again, touch on this in the next recording, that they can't fool with, at least as far as we know, right? But again, you know, those people that's in the public, they're not going to get this message because they don't think they're in trouble, basically, right? And they're in idolatry, right? Okay, I see this question here. Ben-Ami did that before ending it. Okay, that's not a question, right?
I guess he appealed to the people.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Shlomo, Ben-Ami did that. Well, you know, you got other Israelites that appeal to flesh for help. Mm-hmm. See, we can't appeal to flesh for help. That's what we see in this book when we read it. You understand? We understand what we read. Many of our forefathers did that, right? They appealed to flesh for help. Like our forefathers always went to Egypt and appealed to flesh. You follow what I'm saying? But we have to appeal to Yah and do what Yah says. And as long as we do that, then again, let me finish where I left off here in 57. Maybe you'll get the gist of what I was talking about here in this 57th chapter, because I didn't finish it, right? I'm going back to 57 Yeshaya, right? And I'm going to pick this up at, again, I ended at verse 16, right? But I'm going to start there again and come down. For I will not, this is Yah talking to us, not contend forever, neither will I be always angry, wroth, for the spirit should fail before me and the souls which I have made. For the iniquity of his covetousness was I wroth, angry, and smote him. You hear that? See? That's the way our forefathers were. Many of us that way today. See? So that's why we have to be refined and get away from being covetousness, you know, coveting, right? We got to get away from idolizing. You understand what I'm saying? We got to turn to Yah with all our heart and soul, right? And again, what does that say in Deuteronomy 30? You follow me? And what did Moses say in verse 2? When all these things have come upon thee, the blessing and the curse, and you call all these things to mind in the nations where you've been scattered, is then, okay? Or should I say that then? That's the first two words in verse 3, right? When we turn back to Yah with all our heart and soul and obey all of this law, right? You know, us and our children, if you got children of the tolerable age, what is the first two words in verse 3, chapter 30, Deuteronomy? That then Yah will remember the covenant he made with our fathers, and the ones of us who do that, he's going to bring us back. Again, Amos 9:9, he's going to sift us away from any and everybody whom we are around who are not in harmony with Yah. We'll be like corn in a sieve. Not the least grain shall fall upon the earth. Right? And he will bring those of us who turn back to him with all our heart and soul, he will bring us to Jerusalem in this next movement, the Jerusalem movement, to be brought back. And now I'm going back here to 57. I'm going to finish this, what I came here in 57 Yeshaya, right? And again, verse 16, he said he will not always be angry, lest the spirit should fail before him and the souls which he has made, because one day we all got to die, right? For I will not contend forever, neither will I be always angry, right? But here in verse 17, you see what it says? For the iniquity of his covetousness was I angry, wroth, and smote him. See, coveted, idolized. I hid me and was wroth, angry, and he went on frowardly in the way of his heart. I have seen his ways and will heal him. I will lead him also and restore comforts unto him and to his mourners. Okay? Now that's what Yah see. Yah is leading this. See, we trust and have complete faith in Yah. And we do what he says and then we wait on it. And he takes the message where he takes it, where he wants it to go. He brings those who are looking for him to the message. You see. And that's what we do. We don't trust in flesh. We don't depend on flesh. Just like all of you out there hear me say that you are supposed to trust me or put your faith in me. Okay? Not at all, because I put my faith and trust in you yesterday, today, and forever. What's next?
I gotta go way back up. Okay.
Okay, y'all is looking for the next question, so just be patient.
Sweet. Okay, let me see. Let me go back a little bit beyond that. Somebody asked me the next holy day.
Okay, when whoever that was that asked when the next holy day, I think somebody answered. I think I saw it. Somebody said, answered and told them it was Purim. You know, that's March 14th and the 15th of March. Purim is the next holy days for us. All right, and then shortly thereafter you'll get the Passover and Feast of Unleavened Bread. Huh?
No, that was Zamora. Yeah, she won the next feast day. Yeah.
Okay, and what's next?
Why was it an abomination for the Egyptians to eat?
Okay, this is the next question. Why was it an abomination for the Egyptians to eat with the Israelites? Well, you know, as it tells us in the book, right? The Israelites are agriculturalists and shepherds. And the Egyptians look down on shepherds, right? They look down on them. You know, kind of like I've said in the I think it was this session that just played today. You know, it was a time when I was, you know, younger, right? I don't know if it happens too much today, but it was a time back then in the 60s and the 70s where people, you know, would use the term farmer in a you know, dated manner. You know what I mean? In a condescending manner. You know, people say, "Oh man, you a farmer." Right? You understand what I'm saying? And so that's kind of like how Egyptians look at the Israelites. Because our folks were shepherds and agriculturists. That was an abomination to the Egyptians. You a farmer. You understand me? Because you know the people in the city, they think they so much smarter generally than the people that come from rural areas. You know what I mean? In the deep south. You know, people in the city thought they were so much smarter than those people. And so I guess that's how the Egyptians looked at it. You know, they farmers, because the Egyptians was, you know, they were arrogant and haughty, right? Because they had the nations who were like subservient to them. What's next? Hold on. Okay, are we?
Yeah, you gotta go back. They can't keep on.
Hold on. Is it back that far? I think you went back too far. Hold on.
And somebody asked, would it be possible in the next Q&A?
Okay, the question, would it be possible on the next Q&A that we could have the mics open so we all could speak with one another? I mean, we don't need any more confusion, okay? All right? So, no, it's not possible. Again, you know, when I get through, if that's what you want to do, if that's okay with you, did it, then you can do that. All right? That's why Esau is doing what he's doing. You understand, in making the message choppy and garbling it up, because he wants to discombobulate my train of thought. You follow me? And again, if everybody's talking at the same time, how can you get anything sensible out of that? You know? What's next? Okay, when Reuben, his father's concubine wife, did she do this willingly or was it rape? It doesn't say it was rape. It doesn't say that he took her against her will. It doesn't say that at all. So evidently that was a you know, willing on her you know, on her part. It doesn't say that she was, you know, raped. It doesn't say the same thing like, you know, when Hamer, the prince of Shechem, you know, took Dinah in the field, just took her. You follow what I'm saying? If you know the law, the woman that's in the field, she's not responsible, because you understand when she's taken, you know, against her will, she hollers out, there's nobody to hear her. All right, but in a, you understand, the woman can't say that she was raped, because she can holler out and get some help. You probably heard wherever you are, some woman was trying to be raped, but she hollered and screamed, and people would come to her rescue, you know, and run away the rapist, the would-be rapist. What's next?
When Leah and Rachel had their handmaids.
What this here?
Yeah.
Okay, when Leah and Raquel had their handmaids, gave their handmaids to Israel, were they forced? Did they have a choice? Yeah, they had a choice. If you look at it, it was Raquel, because she couldn't, you know, Yahweh opened up her womb because of her own demeanor, her own character. All right, so she gave her handmaid to Yaakov that she could bear through her handmaid, and Yah brought that to pass, right? So it wasn't against the handmaid's will. She you know, she willingly went in to Yaakov. And then when Leah saw Raquel did that, then she turned around and did it. You follow what I'm saying? Because she had left off bearing, so she gave him her handmaid so she could bear through her handmaid. You see what I'm saying? So no, that wasn't against anybody's will in that situation. What's next? Okay, okay, Yah bless. I have a question about Ezekiel 36. When Yah said he will put a new spirit and a new heart of flesh, so will we forget all the pain and torture? No, we never going to forget. Ain't no forgetting, because if you forget, you subject to repeat. Ain't going to be no forgetting. I can tell you that now. All right? Because that's what Esau wants. That's why he created the Tiger Woods, you know what I mean? The Oprah Winfrey. And some of the people that was just up there that the person put up there, you know, Spike Lee. He want us to forget all of that. That's why he got Tiger Woods going around talking about he's, what? Combination, some stupid mess, right? He ain't nothing but an Israelite, right? You understand? You know? But that's what Esau wants us to. We ain't never going to forget. Because if you forget, you subject to repeat. See? That's why we always had this book of remembrance around. Even when it's fulfilled, we're going to have. You understand what I'm saying? Because again, you know, all this has to be taught to those holy children that Yah's going to bring out of us when we get back, and he cleanses our blood that is not being cleansed. All right? And then those children that come from those unions are going to be the holy children. They're going to be taught all of this. You follow what I'm saying? So that they'll understand, and that they'll understand why there is no thought of turning away from y'all ever. All right? Because we got something to show them and tell them, hey, you see what happens when you obey y'all? See what we had to go through for over 2,700 years? You know, that's why when I hear some of these people like, you know, that boy Henry Louis Gates and his nonsense, a lot of stuff he bring up is nonsense. Some of the stuff is all right, that, you know, the latest stuff, you know what I mean, and there's many rivers to cross that he's been showing here lately. You know, he did some things, you know, it was all right for the from the Civil War and right before the Civil War coming on up to now. But see, when him and people like him talk about we've been in captivity for 400 years or 5 years, you know, that's crazy. You understand what I'm saying? No, it's 25 to 2,700 years we've been in captivity. All right? See? And when you lay this on, you know, when we lay this on our children and tell them all what we had to go through, we don't ever want to forget it. No, ain't no forgetting.
We're going to be comforted, right?
Okay? And it said, in other words, will he cleanse the painful memories from Babylon? No, we're going to remember all these painful memories. I don't want to forget a one. Okay? Not a one. What's next? And let me just say this, all right? When I say that, don't get it twisted. I ain't hating nobody. All right? I'm not hating the Edomites, because you know that's against the law, Deuteronomy 23. We ain't supposed to hate the Edomites. I understand them. Okay? I'm not hating Gentile so-called white folks. Okay? Because again, like I said earlier, if you was listening to the session today, all right, you go back, if you missed it, you go back and listen to it. When you read that 83rd Psalm, there was not a Gentile in that conspiracy, okay, of nations with Esau. There was not a Gentile nation there. Okay? Those was all Hamites and Shemites that went in with Esau in that conspiracy. Now, quite naturally, Gentiles entered in later on, but again, you got to remember when you read the 65th chapter of Yeshaya, Isaiah, right? What does Yah say there? He puts the blame on our forefathers. Like again, 52 Yeshaya, we sold ourselves for naught. We embraced lies and deception, iniquity, idolatry, right? We turned away from Yah. So when we turn back to Yah and start obeying all this law with all our heart and soul, Deuteronomy 30, verse 2 and 3, right? Then Yah, the ones of us who do that, he will bring us back. Why? For our righteousness. Isn't that what it says? You understand, in the 54th chapter, Yeshua at the back end? And their righteousness is of me, saith Yah. Because this righteousness is from Yah. Okay? It's not my righteousness, not your righteousness, right? This law is from Yah. These precepts is from Yah. These judgments and statutes and ordinances are from Yah. Now these testimonies, right? They're from our forefathers, right? Just like many of us can testify here today. That's why, again, I don't ever want to forget, because I'm going to testify to my children, them holy children over there, and others over there when we get back. Just like I'm testifying now, right? I've testified, you know, in the past when you listen to the things, right? I told you about how, you know, I was raised up and you know, all the different things, well, a lot of the things I was into. You understand what I'm saying? When we get back to the land, like I've said to Yedida and Yeshai, when we get back to the land and we sitting up on that hill, we get to talking. I'm going to tell some other things that I had never told that I, you know, did. You understand? But I never murdered nobody. I never killed nobody. Thank you. I never have to pray. You understand what I'm saying? Unless, you know, we go over there and let some of the people going to be wicked and just, you know, you understand what I mean? We got to pile them bricks up on top of them. You understand what I'm saying? What's next? All right, God bless you too. It says Mordecai in Ezra the same Mordecai that's in the book of Esther? Could be. Could be. Matter of fact, you know, because Mordecai, again, this is 470s, 480s. Ezra came back in 458 BCE. All right, so now I don't know, because you know, when you think about it now, it wouldn't be, because that's more about he wasn't living into this. You know what happened? He took Haman's place. Isn't that what Xerxes was? He put him in Haman's spot. You understand what I'm saying? So now this again, and you know, the first 6 chapters of Ezra is flashback. So that's the Mordecai that was back there in 535, 536. You know, with Zerubbabel in them. So that wouldn't be the same Mordecai. You know, no, that's a different Mordecai, I would say. Okay, what's next? Why do some Israelites still call the Messiah by Jesus? You'd have to ask them that. Okay? You'd have to ask them that. I mean, you know, what does it say in Daniel chapter 12 at the top? Many shall awake. It doesn't say all. And then what does it say about the ones who gone away? Some to everlasting life, some to shame and everlasting contempt. And that's those ones who still dragging in some parts of Christianity into the way of Yah, right? Or they drag in some parts of Judaism into the way. I just talked to a brother a few days ago. Not the first time we talked. He's in the Chicago area. We've talked a few times in the past, and he called the other day, and he got to talking to me, and he wanted me to listen, and I listened. You know, like I've said to some who are on this site right now, to be a good conversationalist, you've got to learn how to listen. Okay? Okay? It's the same thing what I said today about this room. All right? When people come into this room, you got to learn how to listen. And don't be so readily to be bantering back and forth in the room, being a distraction. Okay? You got to learn how to listen, to learn, and to be a good conversationalist. But this brother, he's bringing scenarios to me, you know, and the more, like I said, and by listening, he revealed to me why he has a hard time, you know, seeing and understanding different things, because he thought that was our forefathers back in the 1st century CAD. You know, the Maccabees and whatnot, and Medes back there. You know, the what they call them, the Pharisees and the Sadducees. I had to tell him, brother, those Edomites, that wasn't us. You know, and I had to tell him, you know, okay, they chopped up some of it, but you know, hopefully we'll go back and whatever you didn't hear, I'm gonna, you know, you can in a little bit after we finish some of these questions, you can put back up your thing again, and I'll answer it again, and maybe that won't be choppy. But you know, I had to tell the brother that wasn't us. You know, after 161 BCE, historically, anytime you read anything about Israel or Jews, which again is an aberrated term, it's not talking about us. It's talking about the descendants of Esau. Okay, but see, when you think that was our forefathers in the 1st century BCE, the 1st century CE AD, the 2nd century CE AD, then, you know, he thought that was us. He said, you know, when they kicked us out of the land in 70 AD, I had to tell him, brother, that was the Edomites. That wasn't us. Okay? You know, and like I said, you know, like I said to him, I mean, you know, that's again, you see this in Daniel, right? Daniel chapter 9, the last half of the 26th verse and verse 27. When that second temple that Zerubbabel built was destroyed, historically, there is no mention of Israel in truth anymore. Anytime again, you see Israel or Jews?
Right there.
Okay, are we going to have to get vaccinated before we go to the land? Nobody's vaccinating me. I can tell you that now. All right? And I say it like that because, again, let me say this. And understand me well. When these elites come, when y'all humbles, when they are humbled, and they on the precipice of being totally humble. Because what's going to humble is when y'all brings judgment on these Edomites. That'd be like, as they say, the strap of the camel's back. All right? They will be humble. When y'all run these Edomites out, and that's what we waiting on. In the meantime, in between time, y'all is preparing the Jerusalem movement. When this Jerusalem is ready to be taken back, that's when y'all will run out the Edomites out of the land and burn them up in their land. I hope y'all heard that. Y'all hear that? Let me know if you heard that.
Okay.
Choppy?
No, that was before, probably.
Did y'all hear what I just said?
Choppy on this.
Okay? Because again, you understand? When Yah runs the Edomites out, that'll be the signal that this Jerusalem movement is ready to be taken back. Okay? That's the signal we wait for. And it's also when y'all run these Edomites out and burn them up in their land. Can you hear me out there? Because he messing with it so bad you can't hear it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Now you don't even have any sound? Come on.
Now it looks like it's
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe their hand got tired from pushing the button. But again, when Yah runs these Edomites out of the land and burns them up in their land, Yeshaya 33, verse 14, 12 and 12 verse and the 14th verse, and the one chapter Obadiah, the first 6 verses in chapter 63, Yeshaya, when he does that, that's the signal to the elite of the earth. That's the straw that's going to break the camel's back. That's when they're going to come. Not, and again, it has to happen, and it has to happen before September 2016. Okay? It has to happen before. And again, see, because Yah's not going to coexist with the descendants of Esau. That's why he's going to get the chapter of Yeshaya. I'll read it to you. Real succinct. Can y'all hear me out there? Okay, well, just come back. I hope y'all can hear me. Y'all trying to get on these questions, but, I want to make sure you hear this. Can you hear me? It's all choppy, huh? Can you hear me out there? Where it says, hold on. Where is it? Mm-hmm. 33 Isaiah, right? And you see, I'm going to pick this up at verse 19. You shall not see a fierce people, a people of a deeper speech than you can perceive, of a stammering tongue that you cannot understand. All right? Because y'all going to get rid of, that's the Edomites. He was just talking about them a little further up in this chapter 33. right? When he's, like I said a minute ago, in verse, when it says verse 11, he's talking about the Edomites. You shall conceive chaff, you shall bring forth stubble, your breath as fire shall devour you, and the people shall be as the burnings of lime, as thorns cut up shall they be burned in the fire, right? And then what does it say in verse 13? Hear, you that are far off, what I have done. This is Yah talking. And you that are near, acknowledge my might. Because when Yah brings this judgment on the descendants of Esau in the prescribed time that he's communicated through his arm, that's when the people are going to know the true movement of Yah. Well, some know it already, but you understand, that's when the elite are going to truly know. You understand what I'm saying? Without a doubt, the true movement of the Most High. You understand? And like it says in Ezekiel chapter 35, that's when he's going to make himself known amongst his people, because when Yah judges the descendants of Esau, that's when he's going to bring, not long after, the elite to Yah's movement. And that's when the children of Israel are going to come into the knowledge of Yah, and many of them are going to wait to the fact that they are Israelites, because they're going to see people that look just like them, coming from similar places, or the same place where they are, being embraced. All right? They're going to see them gravitate to that call. Right? 51:7 Yeshaya. Hearken unto me, all in whose heart is Yah's law. So Yah's going to get rid of the Edomites first. And again, it's got to be in the time frame. Right? 61 Yeshaya. To proclaim the acceptable year of Yah, right? 34 verse 8 Yeshaya. For it is the year of recompenses for the controversy of Zion, right? That year had to be for 44. Again, that's talking about when Yah said he is king, and it says that he's going to mingle seed. That he's doing it this time when they seek the mingle seed. If I'm not mistaken. Hold on, it must be chopping again. Hold on. What's going on, bro? Yeah. Okay, because Yah is trying to go back at different times, trying to get the question, but I'll go back. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. God bless. Okay, now this about Daniel 2:44, and in the days of these kings shall the strong one of heaven set up a kingdom. What days are this? Back to 43rd verse, right? And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. But again, this is talking about people, right? And how what we see back there with Ezra, what we saw, what Yah was saying to the sons of Adam, right? The sons of God, Genesis chapter 6, when they started to take these women who were not about Yah, who descended from those people created on the 6th day in chapter 1 Genesis. Okay? So Yah said he was going to limit their days to 120 years. We see with Solomon, he took women to wife that were in idolatry. And eventually they broke him down, got him in idolatry, right? We see this with what, in Ezra. What's that, chapter 9? When the seed of Israel that was still in around the land, around Jerusalem, was taking these strange women who weren't about Yah. We see that this progressed, even though they said they were going to, let go of these women and put them away, and the children. They didn't do it, because when Nehemiah comes back about 30 years later, you understand? Because that was 458 with Ezra, so it's about 427. You understand? 426, when Nehemiah comes back, and we see that the men of Israel were even deeper into these women, because they was having children by these women who weren't about Yah, right? And these children couldn't even speak in the Israelite language, like I said in the past. So who running the house? That's how weak these men of Israel had become. And it goes without question, wherever the rest were, scattered to wherever they were, in idolatry, mixing with other people. So that's what's going on today. We see that. But we also see something deeper about this mingling of the seed. We also see that Esau is into eugenics. Okay? We see that he's into cloning, right? We see that he's into GMOs, right? We see that he's into HGH, human growth hormones, and all this other nonsense. All right? All of this is going on across the board of fooling with seeds, splicing seeds, taking seeds, putting it in test tubes, and then fooling with it. You understand what I'm saying? So all of this is going on, because what Esau really wants to do, these illuminated Edomites, they want to wipe out the seed of Israel. That's what they want to do. See, this is why they've taken over the educational system many years ago. You understand? They set up the religions many years ago. You understand? And they want to shape and mold everybody's mind. That's why when the person who just put up there a little earlier, is y'all gonna wipe all of this out of our mind about the pain we've gone through? No, and you don't want them to wipe it out. That's what Esau wants to do. He wants us to forget our heritage. He wants us to forget, you understand, and not even, acknowledge that we are the descendants from captives. He wants us to forget all of that. You follow what I'm saying? And then if we were to forget all of that, who's y'all gonna work through when y'all got these everlasting covenants with Israel, inside Israel? So no, we don't want to forget. That's what Esau wants. We don't ever want to forget. Okay? What's next?
I thought you said he was going to put something.
Okay, I'm looking at will the Illuminati Amalekite will utterly be destroyed? I guess that's what you mean. When are they going to be destroyed? Well, again, yeah, all the Amalekites going to be wiped out. You see that in Numbers chapter 24. Okay? The Amalekite eventually is going to perish from the earth. Now, they're not going to all get wiped out at the destruction of the daughter of Babylon. It's going to be some still alive, wherever they're going to be. But systematically, Yah's going to get rid of them. And it's going to be in a hastened manner, because again, when after the last battle, it won't be an Amalekite left on this earth. It won't be a Canaanite left on this earth after that last battle. Okay? You gotta still roll it. You gotta roll it, just don't go back. Okay, I'm looking to say, okay, y'all said,
this is a comment.
Okay, peace and prayer, y'all do all these things. Okay, so what's the next question? Just put it on up there.
Is it safe to say that Yah also is a liar and a deceptionist?
Okay, again, whoever this is, this Milton, who put this up there, I would say to you, you need to go and read the book Genesis through Malachi. And after you do that, then you come back and because that'll answer that question. I ain't even got to answer that. Okay, Yah will set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed during the times of these kings. Correct. He's in the process of doing that. What's next? Does Moses still have seeds on the earth? Now, I couldn't say he doesn't, and I can't say that he does, but I can't say that he doesn't. But what we don't see that Yah made an everlasting covenant with Moses. We don't see that, right? So that's how I would answer that. Okay, in Deuteronomy 23:2, about a bastard not to enter the congregation of the 10th generation. Okay, until the 10th generation. What does the horn mean? All right, well, that's one question. Okay. Shall not enter the, okay, well, again, your bastards is, the way I see it, is incest seeds, like Moab and Ammon. Okay, and Canaan. Okay, Canaan is the seed of Ham. Moab and Ammon is the seed of Lot by his daughters. And Canaan, from what we see, is the seed of Ham by his mother-in-law or his mother. Not mother-in-law, should I say, but stepmother or his mother. All right? Okay, what does the horn mean in 1 Samuel 2?
Now, it doesn't say that in the 10th generation he can enter. It said even into the 10th.
Yeah, he cannot enter, ever.
Right. So
Right.
they don't.
That's what it means. You can never enter in, ever, a bastard, into the congregation of Yah. Even until the 10th generation. This is the 100th generation. They can't come in. All right, I'm going to this 1 Samuel chapter 2 because I'm not really understanding when it says a horn. I can't call that off the top of my head. Okay. What's the verse in this 1 Samuel chapter 2? What's the verse? Put it up there. What, verse? What, 2?
No, I guess you.
Okay, well, you got to tell me what verse. No, you got to put up what verse. What's next?
First verse it says.
First verse
Yeah.
in chapter 2.
It's a strength, right?
Yeah, that's her strength. Okay, and Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoices in Yah, mine horn is exalted in Yah. Her strength. Because she was calling on her strength to Yah. What's next?
What is hyssop?
Okay, hyssop is an herb. It's an herb. And it's a good healing herb, too. We got some here. What's next?
I thought you said he was going to put the person. I gotta go back.
Don't go back. Just keep going down. Just keep going, bringing them. Don't go back.
Okay, that's it. That's the end. You say go to the end, right? Don't keep going up.
What we gonna do? Okay, that's it. Okay, what's next? Right. What's next? What's this? What's he got here? What's this? Okay, I'm going to this 32 Deuteronomy. Matter of fact, I already know about that. I mean, what's your point? What's your point, Milton?
No, Abijah
Okay,
is responding to
okay,
him.
you respond to this, Milton? Okay,
Yeah.
so I ain't got to deal with that, because I mean, I ain't. What's next? Anybody else got another question? Okay, I guess that's it. No more questions? But again, because see, some people like this Milton 777, you putting stuff up, evidently you haven't read the book. And that's what you need to do. And your question would be answered. Because Yah doesn't lie, and he only deceives those who are deceitful. And he talks about that in Ezekiel chapter 14. Okay? And I would suggest that you read that, but you need to read the book, Milton 777.
Yeah, don't be offended.
Oh, I'm not offended. I would say to you, you should hope Yah is not offended. Don't worry about me, because it don't matter whether I'm offended or not. Okay? I'm just Yahudah. All right? Servant to the Most High. You just better hope Yah is not offended, because I don't know what's in your heart, but he does. Okay, so is that it?
Did you ever finish answering that question?
Okay, wait a minute. I missed one of these parts of this question. It was a two-parter. Okay, three-parter. In Judges 21 to 24, is the women dancing wrong in being chosen for wives? Wait a minute. I got to look at that because I don't recall that. I haven't read that in a long time. Long time. 21, 24. Okay, see and behold, the daughters of Shiloh come out and dance, then and catch you every man his wife. Well, that's just what they did then, because you know they needed wives. If I remember correctly, what this is talking about.
Benjamites.
Okay, the Benjamite needed wives, so this was just what they did. And remember what it says here in this last verse, right? In those days there was no king in Israel or governor, right? Every man did which was right in his own eyes. So, you know, I wouldn't say it was right, because it's not, it's nothing that Yah basically said. That's just what they was doing. So that's what they did. You know what I mean? Like many people today, they do what's right in their own eyes. They're not into this law. They're not into this book. You understand? So again, that's what separates the wheat from the chaff. All right, and just like what Yah says in Ezekiel chapter 20, 32 through 38, you got rebels and transgressors who are going to come out with this Jerusalem movement, and they're not even going to be ready to serve Yah, because they're not in harmony with Yah, because they reject different things that they read in this book. They refuse to do, and even when they hear it explained, they still refuse to do it. But then when Yah humbles these elite after he destroys the bulk of the Edomites and all of the Edomites that he runs down into their old land, which is going to trigger the elite to come get Yah's movement, when these rebels and transgressors see that, quite naturally they're going to want to jump on board, right, and leave out with the Jerusalem movement, like they've been in harmony with Yah all the time. That's why Yah's got that Ezekiel chapter 20, 32 through 38 there. He's going to bring out the rebels and transgressors from whatever land they sojourn in, who are going to come back with this, they're going to be going to the land to be part of this Jerusalem movement, but he's going to get rid of them before they get there. They're never going to get to the land, because he knows everybody's heart. He knows what everybody's been doing, you see, and what they haven't been doing. Okay? Can't fool the Most High. Is anything? Okay, I have the King James Authorized Scriptures, which I have always studied from. What do you think about the scriptures called the Scriptures by the Institute for Scripture Research? I don't know anything about those scriptures. All I understand is that the King James Authorized Version is the version that should be read. It's been tampered with, but that's the one for us to read, because that's the only one that fulfills Yeshaya 46 verse 13 and 51:5.
Is he referring?
Okay, when Yah says, "I have my righteousness is near," 51:5, and 46:13, "I have brought near my righteousness; my salvation is soon to follow." The King James Authorized Version is the only translation that's translated in over 2,000 languages. No other translation can make that statement. That's why I said earlier today about, in this Q&A, about dealing with that, internet, and it's a lot of people that they read the book from the internet. Well, that's been fooled with even more. You understand? Because that's the last thing that they, put the book on, per se. So they've tampered with it, just like the NIV, right? The Berkeley version, the Schofield, the Living Bible, the Catholic Bible, the Oxford version, the JPS, Jewish Publication Society versions. All of that's been contaminated a lot worse than the King James Authorized Version. So that's why we deal with the King James, because it fulfills those two prophecies. It's near everybody, whatever language you speak. Okay?
The Gospels are not scripture.
Okay, and if you're talking about the Gospels, because Yada's saying the Gospels, she said that's what you evidently you talking about. The Gospels is the good spell, the New Testament. Okay? That has nothing to do with Yah at all. And you're not going to get any truth out of that. All of that's garbage, as I've said in the past. So if you're talking about the New Testament, the good spell, and you can look up gospel, that's what it means, good spell. Okay? Doesn't mean good news. That's the twist, in the etymology and dictionaries they put there. It means good spell. There's only 3 kinds of spells. I said this on the very first show we did with Mark Sims back in July 2006. You can go back there and look at it. It's on the site. Okay, YahRighteousHome.org site. All right, good spell. There's only 3 kinds of spells. You spelling a word. It's not talking about that. You're spelling somebody from doing something, taking their place. It's not talking about that. Or you're putting someone under a trance, an incantation. And that's what it's talking about. A good incantation, a good spell. And you see, Yah referred to that when he was going to, what he was going to do to us. You see that in Jeremiah chapter 8, verse 17. We would be bitten by serpents and cockatrices. Again, what's the Illuminati Edomite referred to in the book of Remembrance, Yeshaya chapter 27? The Leviathan. You look up Leviathan, it's the great snake. Okay? The great snake that puts people in a paralyzed state, a spell by looking at them. All right? So again, you see the parallels? Yah said in Jeremiah 8:17, you're going to be bitten by serpents and cockatrices in these lands I'm going to scatter you into that shall not be charmed. Good spell. Okay? What's this? In Numbers 31:17-18, it seems to support mingling, but in Deuteronomy 7:3-4, it teaches to not mingle, which is it please. Okay, well again, we're not supposed to mingle, and we weren't supposed to mingle with any of those nations in the land of Canaan. Those 7 nations. Isn't that right? We were told not to mix with those. That's Deuteronomy 7:3-4. In Numbers 31:17-18, you said it seems to support. So let me go there and read it.
Those were Midianites, so it was okay to mingle. That's who it's talking about.
31:17-18.
It's not one of those 7 nations. Right?
Okay, well, again, it says, and Yah said, the most behold, thou shalt sleep with her, and the people will rise up, go horn, that's the gods of strength and land. Well, again, that's talking about the same thing. It was those idols and images and those people, the Canaanites, that our forefathers, when they went over into the land of Canaan, they mixed with. They wasn't supposed to mix with them at all. Okay, you'll see in Judges, when you go to Judges, that because they did mix with them, Yah said, now, since you disobeyed me, I'm going to leave these people around to be a blinding to thine eyes, a covering to thine eyes, and thorns in thy side, since you didn't obey me and mix with them anyway.
Does it matter that the ones in Numbers, that he says, say the women lie, they Midianites, but these are, that's not
again, but it's when Yah is telling me that these are Midianites here.
In Numbers 31, that's when they went over and...
Okay, I went to the wrong book. Hold on.
No, it was 2 different places.
Yeah, but it's Numbers.
Oh, you went to...
Yeah. Oh. Okay, wait a minute.
17 and 18. That's not one of those 7 tribes or 7 nations. Just say not to...
Okay, well, these are the Midianites, but the point being is the Midianites were what? They enticed, what you see in chapter 25 of Numbers, they enticed the children of Israel into worshiping Baal. You go to the 25th chapter, you'll see that. And that's why Yah said to attack the Midianites. That's when Balaam got killed, right? See, because they were into worshiping Baal, and they enticed the children of Israel to worship Baal, and the children of Israel started to do that. You see that in Genesis, in Numbers chapter 25. What?
Okay, I don't know.
You don't know what?
I was saying to say those Midianite women alive who had not known a man.
Okay, so y'all is telling me, because I didn't read the whole thing. Okay, but she's saying, it's saying that to save these Midianite women alive who had not known a man. All right? So again, these women who had not known a man, who were virgins, in other words, they were savable. You follow me? Because they, in other words, they weren't, you understand, they could be brought into the way of the Most High. They could turn to Yah and serve Him. All right? Evidently, this is what this is implying.
But those 7 nations, he said not to take any of those.
But those 7 nations, again, they couldn't be saved. That's why Yah was bringing Israel over into the land of Canaan to totally get rid of them, of which the Midianites are Shemites. Those 7 nations in the land of Canaan, they're all Hamites. Okay, you didn't understand any of that. Put what you didn't understand back up. Okay, what? That's Christianity teaching that we will forget those things. Okay, what's next?
That's
What?
Any suggested scripture for severe depression?
Okay, any suggested scripture?
That's not Malachi.
That's Malachi, whoever that is.
Okay.
Again, read the book and pray for your severe depression. Pray to Yah. Nothing too hard for Yah. Okay, what else?
Okay, looks like it's not too much. Okay, you dealt with that. Yeah, because we kind of went backwards. You dealt with that. Can you just repeat about it? What
if a Hebrew Israelite woman cuts her tooth for lack of knowledge? Will she be able to remarry once we get back to the land? I mean, we gotta wait and see. If she makes it back to the land, I would think she possibly would get a husband. Who knows? What Yah is nothing too hard for Yah. But I cannot speak on that. We just gotta wait and see.
I don't know
what does Yah have any flesh on him, or is he just spirit? He said he has a face. Well, yeah, but he's spirit. But again, I've never seen Yah. You understand? I know we made in His image. The way the book reads, He's spirit. He's the spirit of all living things, but He's in a bodily form. But He's not man. You understand? Okay, what's next? Horn. Okay, what? Okay, again, I don't even understand what that is. That might be an Edomite with some nonsense. What's next? Okay, what's next? Okay, if a Hebrew Israelite woman, okay, I just dealt with that, right?
That's what he said. He was going to just read. He was going.
Okay, put that.
That's it.
Okay, Abaya just answered that too. But again, like I said, we got to wait till we get to the land to see.
No, he repeated it.
Yeah, what's going to happen in that regard?
Okay, something.
What's next?
This right here.
Okay. Psalms 43:5 says, "Why art thou cast down, O my soul? Why art thou disquieted within me?" Well, that's David in times of despair, because we are all human, so we have times of despair. We have times where we get depressed, we get morose, as I mentioned in the, what was that? The last session. It's times when we get like that. But again, we turn to Yah we turn and read something. I know that's what I do. I pray, I read something out of the book, and by the time I come out of the book, Yah has uplifted me. You know, like it says in the 59th chapter of Yeshaya about, you see where it says, Yah sustained him. His righteousness sustained him. That's his word. That's, you know, we go to Yah's righteousness, which is going to him. You follow me? And then he lifts our spirit up.
Oh, she's responding to him, asking about what to do when you're depressed.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
What's next?
What about the hallelujah scripture, brother? I'm new to the truth.
Again, there is no word hallelujah in this book. You'll see praise Yah, Selah, things like that, but there is no word hallelujah. I don't know what that means. I know what hallelujah means, praise Yah, but that hallelujah, that's suspect. Okay, Psalm 103:20, are we Yah's angels? No, we're not. Does it show in the book how Cain died by a boulder? No, it does not. You got that, wherever you got that out of one of those other books that Esau has written that, you know, we've said to people before, stay out of, because that's a bunch of garbage. We only got this book of remembrance. Again, I say to you, this King James Authorized Version is the one that's all over the world in over 2,000 languages. That's the one that Yah has scattered all over the world and put near everyone. That's the book we're supposed to read. All of that book of Jubilees and Jasher and Enoch, Apocryphal books, those are not near everybody. Those are not anywhere near translated in over 2,000 languages. They're nowhere near it. So we stay away from those books. That's where you get all this stuff that can't be verified. Okay, Yeshaya 63 verse 4 and 6, isn't this Yah magnifying himself? And which verses are the first, as I just mentioned earlier, the first 6 verses in chapter 63 Yeshaya are all in reference to Esau in the land today, marching up the highway, up and down the highway in his strength with his tanks and his guns. You understand? That's Esau today. What's next? If a man has sex with a woman that is cut off, okay, we already dealt with that.
No, this is a different.
Okay, this is a different one. If a man has sex with a woman that cut off her tube, certainly, and for that reason she is no longer able to retain or receive the man's seed, is the man still in his seed or committing sin? Again, I wouldn't say he's spilling his seed per se. Okay, intercourse is a natural act, and if this is his wife, but at the same time, I wouldn't see her, you know, being able to have seed. But I think I just heard not long ago some woman who had her tubes tied or something. They what do they call that?
Tubal ligation.
Yeah, tube ligation. She ended up getting pregnant. So you never know what could happen.
Yeah, it reverses itself sometimes.
Yada just said it reverses itself sometimes. Okay.
Hello prayers or what?
Again, I don't fool with any Edomite anything at all. Esau never done right. To this day, since his creation, since his being.
Tell them what you're referring to.
I'm talking about this halal prayers of what Edomites do. Silent prayers said on their holidays. We don't deal with any of their days. Okay, there has been times I've heard that adoption isn't good. Why not? And when reading Deuteronomy 26, do the fathers, the widow, the needy, etc., I don't understand it. It's like a run-on. And when reading Deuteronomy 22, the fatherless, the widow, needy, etc., peace, thank you. Well, I don't understand what all that means. That bottom part said there has been times I've heard that adoption isn't good. Well, I don't know where you heard that from, but again, when you read in the book about bond slaves, bond servants, okay, that's in a way the bond servant can become, don't ever want to leave you. That might not actually be a form of adoption, but it's kind of similar. The person is not of your seed, but they come in and they become your servant, and they never want to leave you. When the time for release comes, and you can drive an aisle through their ear, and they'll become your servant forever. So you know. But adoption here in the ways of man, I'll say this, and you can, rationalize it. Envy not the oppressor, choose none of his ways. Now, okay, what's next? Okay, why did Yah allow Esau to attack the earth? Well, again, good cop, bad cop on why did Yah allow Esau to attack the earth. Like I said before, go to Jeremiah, Jeremiah chapter 25, specifically pay attention to the 14th verse through the 33rd verse, and you'll see where Yah says he was going to bring a sword upon the inhabitants of the earth to drive them mad. Again, when you read that, then go to Genesis chapter 27, and you'll see the blessing that was put on Esau by his father Isaac was that he would get the dominion, he would live by his sword. But as I've said in the past, I know Isaac also told him that his dominion was not going to last, and he was going to come back up under his brother forever. That's why Esau hated his blessing. That's why he lives by the sword. Good cop, bad cop. Esau's the bad cop. When Israel's serving Yah and doing what Yah wants, then they're the good cop. Okay, when will the high priest be elected? It's not an election. Let's get that straight. Does he already know that he is elected? It's not an election. It's a selection by Yah. And this person, nobody knows who the high priest is right now. I don't see that really being revealed till we get back to the land. Till the Jerusalem movement gets back, at some point, Yah will make it known who this seed of Zadok through that Yahushua that was back there with Zerubbabel is. They got the design for the temple. The elites got it too. I mean, the design is in this book, but they probably even got it even better than possibly maybe was in this book. They know exactly how it's going to be built. They're going to have it built. What's next? Is this talking about those of us that's returned to the law? Ezekiel 37:10 through 14. Well, I know that's the dry valley of the dry bones, right? What's that? 10 through 14. Yeah, well, again, that's those of us who return. All of us who return to Yah, and again, it's not going to be but so many with both gatherings. It's only going, with the last two, this Jerusalem movement and the second gathering, the last gathering, it's only going to be so many. It's not going to be all Israel that's going to come to Yah. We see in Yeshaya chapter 6, it's only going to be 1/10 of the Israelite men who are going to come back to Yah out of all Israel. Only 1/10. That's the men, More likely to be more women, but there's only going to be 1/10 of the males. That's Yeshaya chapter 6. What? I don't get
having sex with someone who had a tubal ligation. His respondents adding something to that.
Okay, well, I don't get that at all. How that
is that spilling seed by having sex with somebody who's pregnant already?
How's the woman pregnant? If she's had
if a woman is pregnant, not the.
But again, a woman that's pregnant, okay, by her husband, he's not going to, when she becomes pregnant and she's known she's pregnant, he's not going to stop having sex with her because she's become impregnated. Simple as that. He'll still have sex with her even as she becomes impregnated. At some point, it'll probably stop. Okay, so that's not spilling seed. With someone betrothed here and daughter of Babylon. Again, how is someone betrothed here and the daughter of Babylon? Again, when two people come together and they have intercourse, they're now married. they're responsible. As far as the betrothed, I mean, that would probably be just consent in regards to both of them consenting that this is my man and this is my woman, but it's not consummated until they have intercourse, and then they are husband and wife. What's that there?
It's Beulah.
Yeah, but what? Okay, I thought I'd add that. I looked up the word, it says praise. Okay, raise on high. Okay. That is authentic, has no translation, but they claim that there's a definition of it, yet it's in the okay, go figure. Well, quite naturally, again. All right, Beulah. Okay, and what's next? Declare all that the seers to the house of Israel, Ezekiel 44. Well, that's just the statement, huh? Okay, guess that's about it for today. And, again, you can just stay in tune, and I don't know when the next session will be. But whatever, might have got garbled or didn't come out clear in this one, go back in previous things. More than likely I talked about it. And if I didn't, but like I said before, go back to the site, YahRighteousHome.org, and look and listen to everything real carefully. Okay? Don't think that you know everything on there, you understand everything. Just go back and listen. And it's going to be things that are going to be revealed to you that you didn't hear before, because it's all Yah, and He gives it to you when you're ready to receive it and when He's ready to give it to you. So read, study, pray, and do, and stay focused. Okay? To be continued. For Yah righteousness, Jerusalem, and the Holy Seed, Yah bless.